You reach for her, but nothing responds. Not your breath, not your body, just stillness. And in that quiet, where everything should come together, it all starts to fall apart. You feel it building, the tension in your chest, that rising wave of doubt, a flash of heat behind your eyes, and underneath it all, a heaviness, not just disappointment, but the sinking feeling that maybe you're not who you used to be. She's watching. Is she hurt? Wondering what just happened? Quietly questioning if she's still desired, or thinking you don't want her? That thought alone cuts deep. But here's the truth, brother. She's not judging you. She's blaming herself, and in that moment, how you show up, what you say or don't, will shape how she sees you, maybe even how she sees herself. It always starts in the quiet, that in-between space, lights low, soft music spinning like a memory. Maybe it's Sinatra, maybe Coltrane, something slow that hums under your skin. You've waited for this, maybe too long, and now that it's here, you feel it. Nerves brushing against anticipation, a slow building hope that maybe this time things will just flow. She's right there. Diane, not airbrushed beauty, something better. The kind that lives in her eyes, the way she carries herself, steady and graceful, real. There's laughter, tentative, clothes falling away like the past. It feels warm, familiar, like you belong here. She leans closer. Her eyes are open, ready for something honest. You move to meet her, and your body hesitates, not frozen, just absent, like something inside you forgot to answer the call. And the moment shifts. A tightness creeps across your chest. Thoughts start spinning, fast, too fast. What's going on? Why now? You try to stay steady, but doubt edges in. It feels like betrayal, not just from your body, but from the strength, the confidence, the spark you thought still lived inside you. You glance at her, hesitant. She's quiet. Now, searching your face, unsure what just shifted. And maybe, in that silence, she's wondering if you saw something she's always tried to hide. The lines, the softness, the signs of time she still wrestles with in the mirror. And the idea that she might be the reason cuts deeper than the silence itself. Hey, I'm Jack, I'm 64, and I've been where you are more than once. I spent years thinking this part of me, the part that didn't always show up, had to be hidden. So I covered it with humor, changed the subject, made excuses, brushed it off. But the truth? It hurt. Not just because things didn't work the way they used to, but because I thought it made me less of a man, and so I started pulling away, not just from the moment, but from her. Her name was Elise. She was kind, patient, ready, and I shut down on her. That night I learned something that changed everything. It wasn't the performance that mattered, it was the presence. What broke her heart wasn't my body, it was my silence. So today, I want to give you what I wish someone had given me, a way through this, what she's really thinking, and how to respond with honesty, strength, and something even more powerful than youth, connection, because this isn't an ending, it might be your beginning. Before we dive deeper, I want to ask you something real. Have you ever had that moment where your body just didn't cooperate and everything shifted? The air changed. She went quiet. And you felt like the whole night, maybe the whole relationship, slipped through your fingers? If that's ever happened to you, type yes in the comments. You're not alone. And if it hasn't, stick with me anyway, because whether it's already happened or it's coming someday, what you learn in the next few minutes might just change the way you connect for the rest of your life. Most men think that when it happens, when you can't get aroused, the woman you're with starts judging you. You imagine the voice in her head. He's weak. He's not a real man. She's probably comparing me to some younger guy she used to be with. But here's the truth. That's not what's happening at all. Not even close. You see, When a man's body doesn't respond the way he or his partner expects, most women don't point the finger at you. They turn it inward. Is it me? Did I lose his interest? Maybe I don't do it for him anymore. Women, especially over 50, carry their own secret weight, stretch marks, scars, softer stomachs, the signs of life, children, stress, aging that they've never fully made peace with. And in that quiet moment when your body doesn't respond, she assumes you saw all of that. She assumes she failed. There was a woman I dated once. Her name was Karen. Elegant, smart, mid-60s, had this laugh that made everyone in the room smile. One night over wine, she said something I'll never forget. "Jack, every time a man's shut down in bed, I blame myself. Always. I'd lie awake for hours, wondering what I did wrong. I thought maybe my body disgusted him, or that I wasn't woman enough to keep him interested." She said it with tears behind her eyes and a half-smile that tried to cover them. And I realized right then, it wasn't just my confidence that could take a hit in that moment. It was hers too. So when we go quiet, when we pull away, hang our head or say, "I'm sorry," and turn our back, we're not just reacting, we're confirming her fear. We're telling her without meaning to that her worst assumption might be true. And that is how the distance begins. Not because of what happened physically, but because no one talked about it. Because the silence filled in the blanks with shame. And the longer that silence lingers, the harder it is to reach across the space it creates. Let me tell you about a man named Tom, divorced at 61, hadn't dated in nearly 2 decades. He was finally ready to put himself back out there. He met a woman named Nina, widowed, kind eyes, sharp wit. She made him laugh in a way he hadn't in years. Things moved slowly. Dinners, long talks, holding hands under city lights. By their 3rd evening together, they were finally alone in her apartment. The moment was right. The connection was real. But when it came time to move closer, his body didn't respond. He froze. His thoughts spiraled. Panic set in fast. "I don't know what's wrong with me," he blurted. Then, "This always happens." He got up, fumbled with his clothes, said something about needing to be up early, and walked out. He didn't call her the next day, or the one after that. 3 days passed in silence, and Nina, she never called him back. Not because he couldn't connect physically, but because he disappeared. She felt rejected, confused, and worst of all, alone with no explanation. You see, most of us were never taught what to do in that moment. So we fumble, we crack a joke, or we apologize like we've committed some kind of crime, or we vanish, hoping it'll all just blow over. But inside, we feel broken. That silence we fall into, it says more than we think. To her, it says you don't want her. To you, it says you've lost your power. But here's the truth most men don't realize. When you feel powerless, the instinct is to overcompensate, chase reassurance, or retreat, disappear completely. And both reactions make it worse. Strength, real strength, isn't about fixing the moment. It's about staying in it. You don't need a perfect comeback. You don't need to prove anything. You just need to breathe, reach for her hand, and say, "I'm okay. I'm here. And I still want this moment with you." That's it, simple but powerful. And in that choice, you reclaim your presence, not just as a man, but as a partner. So what do you do when it happens? When your body lets you down, right in the middle of that sacred moment? You breathe, not the shallow, panicked kind, a real breath, one that slows your heart and brings you back into the room. Then you stay. You don't run, don't fumble for your shoes or check the time. You stay, because presence in that moment speaks louder than any performance ever could. And then you talk, not a speech, not a nervous apology, just truth, gently spoken. Try this. "Hey, my body's not cooperating tonight, but I'm still here with you. I want to be close. I want connection. That's it. No drama, no shame, no blaming yourself. Then reach for her. Touch her hand. Run your fingers through her hair. Pull her in, not out of obligation, but out of care. Because here's what most men never realize. When this happens, the thing that wounds her isn't the lack of response. It's the feeling that you left her emotionally. She doesn't miss the physical act. She misses your presence. So you stay. You hold her. Even if it's just lying there in the dark, side by side, heartbeat to heartbeat. That's what she remembers. That's what builds trust. That's what pulls her closer, even if nothing physical follows. And you know something? When the pressure melts, when the shame lifts, when two people are back in sync, that's when the body often follows, not always, but often, because connection creates calm. And calm creates space for everything else. You see, closeness, real closeness, was never about the act. It's about the energy between two people, the safety, the softness, the surrender. And the man who knows how to lead with that? The man who doesn't fold, doesn't flee, doesn't fall into fear, he becomes unforgettable to her and to himself. Let's be real for a second. Your body, it's not what it used to be, and that's not a failure. It's just the truth of living. You're not 30 anymore, neither am I. And over time, things shift. Testosterone drops, circulation slows, stress builds like a silent storm inside your chest. Add in a few prescriptions, maybe for blood pressure, cholesterol, or anxiety, and the system doesn't fire the way it once did. That doesn't make you broken. It makes you human. But here's where it gets tricky. No one teaches us how to deal with that change. So we assume the worst. We panic. We reach for a little blue pill. Or we retreat completely, afraid that if we try and fall short again, it'll confirm our worst fear. That we've lost the thing that made us feel like men. That used to be me. Every date came with a quiet weight. A tension I carried behind, my smile, and then one day I stopped treating the bedroom like a performance stage and started treating it like sacred ground. I began doing the small things, not to impress anyone, but to reconnect with myself. I started walking more, drinking water in the morning before coffee, stretching for 10 minutes before bed, breathing deeply when I felt tension rise instead of pushing it down. No fanfare, no magic, just quiet habits that slowly gave me access to my body again. I didn't do it to be ready, I did it to be present, because when you stop viewing the bedroom as a test and start seeing it as a shared moment of connection, everything changes. You move differently, you speak more softly, you listen more closely. And the pressure, it fades, because it was never about performance. It was always about presence. So no, you don't need to chase perfection. You don't need to prove anything. You just need to reclaim connection to your body, to your breath, to the woman beside you, and to the man within you who's still very much alive. Her name was Elaine. She was 61 when we reconnected, sharp as a whip, elegant without trying, carried herself with that quiet confidence only a woman who's lived deeply can. We'd known each other years before, back when life was louder, faster. But this time, we sat across from each other in a small cafe. It was raining. We were talking about all the things you talk about when the armor's off. Regrets, relationships, what we wish we knew back then. At one point, I asked her something I hadn't asked any woman before. Elaine, what really goes through your mind when a man can't connect physically? She didn't flinch, didn't laugh. She just looked at me, steady, warm, and said, "Jack, do you know what hurts a woman the most in a moment of intimacy? It's not when he can't respond. It's when he disappears, when he shuts down and leaves us alone in the dark, with our shame." I felt those words in my chest, and I asked her what she meant. She said, "We already know what's happening. We can feel it. We're not clueless. But when a man pulls away, emotionally, physically, it confirms every fear we have." She paused, then went on. Most of us have spent decades fighting to feel good in our own skin. So when he suddenly goes quiet, it doesn't feel like a bad night. It feels like rejection. She looked me in the eye. All we want in that moment is to know we're still seen, still wanted, still safe, even without the performance. We want him to reach for us, to say, I'm still here, to stay. That stuck with me because she wasn't bitter. She wasn't asking for perfection or spark on demand. She was asking for presence. And the more I've lived since that night, the more I see how rare and powerful that is. To simply stay, to not run, to not hide, to offer comfort instead of apology. That changes everything, that heals what the body sometimes can't. It's not about fixing the moment. It's about being the kind of man who can hold space inside of it. Elaine taught me that, and I'm telling you now. She's not the only woman who feels this way. They don't want magic. They want you. Still, steady, present, and that, brother, that's something we can give. Anytime, every time if we choose to. This was never just about getting aroused. It was always about getting honest. With her, with yourself, with the moment, because what matters most isn't performance. It's presence. It's not the act, it's the attention and the courage it takes to stay when everything in you wants to run. That's manhood at its finest. So the next time it happens, and it might, don't let shame grab the wheel. Don't throw armor over the moment and call it strength. Don't check out just because your body didn't check in. Stay. Look her in the eyes. Let her see that you're still there, not as a man trying to fix something, but as a man who refuses to disappear. Tell her she's still beautiful. Touch her face. Smile with softness. Hold her without expectation, because what she wants most is to still feel wanted, not for anything physical, but for everything that happens between two hearts when they're unguarded. That's where trust lives. That's where deep emotional connection begins.